Hey, this is Raul for Bass Musician Magazine, and if you're wondering what we're going to talk about today, let me give you a clue. When you see that headstock, you'll notice it looks like somebody took a bite out of it. That's because this is one of the custom basses from Byte Custom Bass Guitars out of Austria. Now, I'm mentioning this is one of the basses because they have basically built their whole profile with custom basses that are unique and interesting, and this is just one of so many possibilities you could possibly have. Now, there's a couple of factors when we're going to pick out a bass. Number one, of course, is performance. And they have taken careful consideration to pick eco-friendly woods. They're picking good woods that are resonant. They're picking hardwoods for fretboards. They've got a lot of things they're looking at. They've got their own electronics with a very hot, but all are passive. So you can get a JJ configuration like I've got here. You can do PJ, you can do just straight precision bass, you can do combinations, all kinds of things. And when you start looking at the variables, it just gives you a world of possibilities that you can get on a bass. So this is just one. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Now, the second part is the appearance of this bass. This is an amazing looking bass. And if you're looking to get a stage presence, something like this is quite memorable. It makes me think back to the time when I was in 5th grade and playing with my first rock band. I made the mistake of putting Mattel Glow Bug Juice on a guitar I was playing at the time, and it glowed in the dark, which was really cool for the talent show, but after the show was over, it ate the finish off of the instrument. And so it's not uncommon for me to see people that put stickers on their basses, or in Lee Sklar's instance, he took a chisel and a hacksaw to one of his basses, making it unique and making it special. Now, Byte Custom Bass Guitars can get you started with what you're looking for out of the box. So you don't have to modify or do anything. You can select how you want it from the get-go. Let's take a look at the specs. Let's take a close look at the Snobby Steampunk Bass. Starting kind of structurally, the body is US alder. The neck is a vintage tinted hard maple. It has a 38.1 millimeter nut, and that nut is natural cattle bone. The shape of the neck has a deep profile, and it has a lovely smooth satin finish. Fretboard is vintage tinted hard maple, and it has black fret markers. Those dots you see are black dots. The pick guard is a 3-ply walnut maple walnut, and it has amber pearl inlays. In this instance, they are shaped like gears, matching the steampunk motif. The finish on this is a caramel, and they've applied it both to the body and to the headstock, giving a nice flow of continuity. The decorative portions, where you see the gears, are steampunk, and they're deep laser-bodied art. The rest of the finish is a poly finish. So you've got a lovely combination of shininess on the caramel areas, but matte where the gears are. The amber pearl inlays have kind of an iridescent quality to them, and that makes those very different. As we look at hardware, we have clover gold machines for our tuners. They're Byte Cloverleaf. The bridge is a Goto brass with gold finish. Strap buttons are vintage gold. The control plate, the neck plates, these are all done in gold as well. And even the screws are all done in a matching gold, giving quite the attention to detail. The electronics, this is a Jawbone JJ. These are 2 passive Byte 1000 millivolt single coil pickups in their standard positions, and these are white. They're wired with a parallel circuit, and they have used snap connections, which means that if you want to make changes in the future, you can use the Byte pickups and snap in different ones if you wanted to change to a different configuration, which is really kind of a very nice flexible thing without doing soldering. Other highlights with the finishes, the knobs are gold diamond domes. So they've got like the grip when you go to turn them, but they've got a lovely dome shape luster. When you look at the backside of the instrument, they've done a lovely finish where it contours to fit your body. As you come back to the front side, they've contoured the bottom of the body for your arm, so it rests extraordinarily comfortably. And in the comfort zone, I'd also point out they've done a lovely job finishing the frets. So those have been dressed quite nicely, and they're just exquisitely smooth. The whole neck fret arrangement feels extraordinarily comfortable. This particular bass is set kind of on the low side, which is nice because it can be nice and fast, and that's exactly how I like it set up. This bass is using Diodario EXL 170 nickel round wound strings, and it has a 34-inch long scale. Last but not least, weight, which is important for many of us players. This bass weighs in at 3.9 kilograms. Here in the States, a little over 8.5 pounds, 8.59 pounds. Now, as if this wonderful bass with all these details wasn't enough, included with your Byte custom bass, you've got what I would call a ditty bag or a goodie bag full of some very useful tools. So when we have a look, it's kind of an interesting canvas bag. You will find a 3-piece hex wrench set. There is a Phillips head screwdriver, string clipper, and even a couple of Allen head wrenches so that you yourself can do any further adjustments or minor things that you might need to do. On top of that, you will get your Byte Custom Bass Manual Certificate of Authenticity. It tells you who built this, who's tested it. It gives you the details about your particular, the specs for your bass. Tells you all the controls, what does what. Gives you instructions as to storage, cleaning, string replacement, all the stuff you need to know to get the very most out of your instrument. In addition to that, very important, there's a declaration of materials for those of you that travel and have ever had to face going from one country to the other because there are certain materials that are restricted. And this declaration shows that because the body is made of alder and the neck and fretboard are hard maple, the pick guard is black walnut, none of these are the kind of woods that would give you any problems and you should have any difficulty going from country to country. And so having this certificate, you could show people and not run into any border problems. So this is quite the treat. I can't wait to give this a try. Let's check it out. Okay, let's talk a little bit about my sound chain. To start out with, you can tell I'm holding up this bass with my Ergo strap from Chile. Going out of the bass, going through a monster cable. The reason I'm using this is because it's my L-shaped cable and it works good with these kind of instruments. Going to feed into my DNA amplification, and from there we will, when it comes to the sound sample, go straight into the camera from the DI out of the head. So there you have it. Starting with the sound, the electronics from this instrument give you all kinds of possibilities and options. It's a very simple setup, but it will do the job that you need it to do. These pickups are super powerful. I didn't change the setting on my amp. I've got it set for an active instrument, and it's putting enough juice that it sounds great. Modification of tone, I mean, you've got everything you need with what they're giving you on the electronics. The appearance and the workmanship on this is immaculate. The attention to detail, they've made it so that it's comfortable but highly functional. I just can't say enough that this is just one of the many models that they have. The neck is lovely satin smooth, but this D profile does take a little getting used to. When I say that is not a bad thing, I'm used to my P-bass feeling like a baseball bat kind of, and with this D profile it just feels a little flatter and a little more natural when you're placing your thumb. So lots of amazing features here. This would not be the bass you would be getting. You would come up with an idea how you want your very own to be, but this kind of gives you an idea of what they can do when you work with them. I had conversations with Wolfgang recently also, and an important thing to have in mind is that it won't take you a long time to get a bass once you get things going. Right now they were looking somewhere about 2 to 4 weeks turnaround. So if you were looking for a custom bass, and you know that many custom basses you're looking at 1 year or 2 years to wait, and you're looking for a 4-string, and you're looking for a passive instrument, and you want it to have a stage presence that is extraordinary and unique, you need to talk to the fine people at Byte Custom Bass Guitars. So if you want to get more information and kind of get an idea what you could do in their a la carte approach to building your very perfect custom bass, go to byte.guitars and you can find out everything you need to know there. This has been Raul for Bass Musician Magazine. Stay tuned. We're going to keep on bringing you the latest and the greatest in the world of bass.